Right. So we're with Miss Cynthia Hartman down in beautiful, where are you down? You're in Tampa area?
Tampa, Florida.
Beautiful Tampa, Florida. We've got a great call today talking about the Terahertz Wand, the 7.0. You've got multiple people that you're using that with, including we're going to talk about the dog. We're going to start using it for the dog for cataracts. So,
Yeah, it works.
what's that?
I said, we're going to see how this works. So,
So, with that being said, Cynthia, tell us a little bit about the wand. I know you've been using it for your son, and tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've experienced while using it.
um, so I've specifically bought the wand a year ago. Our son had a tremendous bike accident that had huge facial dental trauma. And so we bought it, and Riley got it to us really quick, and started using it basically the second day after the injury. Basically, his two front teeth were one was broken in half laterally, and then one was extracted and broken like a lightning bolt longitudinally in the gum up in the root base. And so the dentist was like, "Well, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll just kind of splint it in place and hope for the best." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to take him home. Let's find out what we can do." And then the next morning called Riley and got the wand because I'd been looking at them for a long time, but I just needed the the incident of the huge trauma to get it. This is what we're doing, and we're doing it now. And so we did. And I wasn't really familiar with it at the beginning, and so I probably did it longer than necessary, but I probably did what I did. So I didn't understand meridians. I didn't understand really how it worked. I just had complete belief and faith in it, and I'm a very strong believer in God above and Jesus as our Savior, and I used all of I felt that it was his divine knowledge, I guess, innate knowledge that he's like, okay, do this. And with that, we while we were doing the wands during the most traumatic times of it, yeah, at the very, very beginning, we were having excellent thoughts and very, praiseworthy um, mental space, I guess is the right way to say it.
Mhm.
And anyway, we did it, and to this day, it's been a year, and his teeth are completely healed. The dentist is completely in awe. Everything has calcified over. The dental x-rays are conclusive, and there's capillary beds all the way around all of his gums. There's no sensitivities to heat and cold. There's no darkening to his teeth. Everything that we were on watch for never did happen. So
Wow.
he still works on his wand. Every now and then we switched to a very healing toothpaste and mouth rinse and stuff that was very probiotic happy, along with, good vitamins and amino acids and liposomal vitamin C. But I really tout the wand for that. That's, very directed to his teeth injury, completion. And I think even his plaque has been less. I just went to the dentist. We just went last week to the dentist, and she's like, "Wow, you're keeping your teeth really clean, Trent." And that's usually not what she says. So I think he's brushing some, but I think that his plaque is definitely less. Maybe I should be doing it too, more around my teeth and gums.
Yeah.
Um, but it's interesting, very subtle and but very dynamic, I guess, in the same sense.
Awesome. That's really actually amazing. So when that injury first happened, what was the original prognosis that you were given by the dentist and the people that were working on him? What did they initially say when they
Oh, he'll lose
saw
his
the
teeth.
injury?
Yeah,
What's
he'll
that?
lose his two front teeth. He'll lose his two front teeth, is what they said. It's like it was, well, we'll have to wait and see, but it doesn't look good because, one tooth's completely gone and it's got a linear crack in it and the whole what they always forewarn you for and here's what you need to watch for and this is what you need to do and I'm like, okay, okay, I got it. I'm working on it. So anyway, but our son is 25 and he's autistic. And so he's a very high functioning autistic and he's very sweet. And he was scared to lose his teeth and it's a very big body image for him. And I didn't want to deal with extra metal, I didn't want to deal with um, implants and I didn't want to deal with, fake teeth in his head. And I just didn't want to deal with that. And I was just like, how are we going to keep these teeth? So that was our spawning moment to get a wand. So
Yeah. And so, in addition to, so basically, what was the protocol? Like how many times a week? Like how long a day? Like how often were you using it when you first got it?
the first 6 weeks we were doing it daily and I made I stood there for, I don't know, many, 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 many minutes at a time, just wanting each part of him, um, figuring that more is better because why not? Um, and then after about 2 months, so I stood there probably 2 minutes um, apart. So maybe, I don't know, probably like 30 minutes, which is probably more than I should be doing it, between two hands, 2 feet. The spine and then his face, and then I do his stomach and his liver and stuff, and I come back up to his face, and then I did his head, and so it was um, an active um, togetherness time, I guess, is what you want to call it. Um, so, and then he's doing it more on his own now. So he's learned to take the wand and do his hands and his feet and 2 minutes time, Mom. That's what I'm going to do, right? And I'm like, okay. And so his hairdresser has noticed that his hair has like he was having he's 25, so he's having a little bit of hair loss, and I think from the stress of everything, it was really thin. And so he started having baby hairs come back in, and um, so it's it's done a lot more than I give it credit for, I guess. Um, I think that his mind is becoming a little bit more clear, and I think he's having more adult thought process. But I don't even know if I don't know what that's from, but you know what? The wand's all over his face and head, so you never know.
Mhm.
Um, so that's where we are with Trent and the wand. It's really his wand, and hopefully I'll start using it more for myself. So
Yeah, we were talking about that, and your background is that of a nurse?
I'm a nurse, yeah. So I work in Western medicine and I'm a very good Western medicine nurse, but it's everybody stays sick and everybody gets sicker and there's something that needs to be changed, but what? I don't know. So I've been since Trent was injured and became autistic, it's been a long quest of trying to figure out what's going on. And so I've always been on that weird fringe of, let's do less, let's do something different, let's not have the antibiotics, let's try, onion juice for earaches. I mean, let's try anything
Yeah.
before we have, what we have to do.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. In addition to seeing the benefits or just seeing the rejuvenation with the teeth and the gums, um, you got it pretty close to after that injury. What was the pain factor like for him, and how much discomfort was there, and how much did you see the wand help with any pain and discomfort that might have still been there when you got it, if any?
he was a huge trooper through it. They put a lot
Mhm.
of lidocaine in it. And I think he took some Tylenol or Motrin for a few times, but I don't remember him constantly saying that he was hurting at all.
Mhm.
Like it was, it just, it wasn't on my forefront because he wasn't complaining about it. So I guess it was less than what I thought it would have been. Oral trauma is pretty devastating. So,
Yeah.
it was less,
Yeah.
definitely less than what normal people have. And he was sensitive. His gums were sore, and even he had a huge keloid in the front of his upper lip and stuff. And we put vitamin E oil on it, and then wand through the E oil. So I don't know if that helps or not. But the keloid that was, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch thick through his upper lip is very malleable now.
Mhm.
So um, it's interesting,
Yeah.
very different, very, very different.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people that have given us feedback also on how they've used the wand and have seen hair coming back in and thickening of hair and
Hmm.
actually, like you just said, the baby sprouts are coming back, and that's with people of all ages. There's a gentleman out of Montreal, Daniel, who's a regular on this channel, and he was one of the people also that had actually come up with a new um, like a new step to adding to that where you would terahertz the water, put it in a
Hmm.
spray bottle
Ah,
the water on his head, and then use the wand on it. And he's like got a lot of hair right now. And when we first started, like when he first got it, there was nothing. And then we've done, I believe, 2 calls since then. Probably haven't done one in six to
that's
eight
awesome.
months with him. But he came up with that and said that was even accelerating the process for him.
Well, that's great. That's great. I was tempted for Oliver to terahertz some. I have some glass. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Some glass bottles. Some dropper bottles, and just terahertz that in the morning, and give him a couple eye drops of that water, and then go from there. Right,
Hmm.
buddy? Yeah, because he's only 3 or 4. He's not supposed to have cataracts this early. So
A lot of terahertz wand stories with dogs. So,
interesting. Yeah, I
a
had a
lot.
friend that she moved away, but her dog would get into trouble, and she's like, I need the wand, Cindy. I need the wand. And so I think she said she was going to go out and buy one, but she
Mhm.
was like, I come down with Theo. I need the wand. He's having another issue, and it was something with his intestines or some type of, you know, something that he was just not struggling, that he was struggling with a lot. And so he would just lay there and just like, oh, and just completely, relax, and his breathing would just calm. And it was just, instantaneous with the dog.
Yeah, and a lot of times with their hips,
Hmm.
soreness, stiffness in the back. A lot of times with lumps and bumps in the mouth area. I mean, a lot of documented testimonials that we've gotten on that. Um, so, in addition to Trevor, in addition to the dog, did you were saying that you had been using it on your knees a little bit?
I did use it, whenever Trent was starting
Yeah, excuse me.
yeah, Trent was starting his little happy moments. I was like, okay, well, I'll do my knees and my feet while I'm waiting. But like I said, we were doing it so long that I was exhausted, and I would just fall asleep with it on me. I was like, oh, I just fell asleep. And it does at nighttime. It gives you a very relaxing state of being. I don't know how to say that in the right way. Like you just feel blissful, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's the right term. Um, and you just get very, very relaxed. And I fell asleep more times than actually completing what I wanted to do. Because, at the end of the day, you're tired, you're done everything, you've run around, and you've gone to work, and you've taken a shower, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to sit down. And then you just fall asleep doing it. So, and I'd wake up like, oh, it's warm. I got to move. So I was like, that's time to set it down now whenever I fall asleep with it on. So,
Mine actually connected right next to my bed, so it literally sits right next to my bed, or most of the time right on my bed. And I had just used it. I've got the videos. I got to get them posted for an abscess with my tooth or my
hmm.
jaw down here. And within 4 or 5 days, it was completely gone. Actually, the day it happened, there's a gal that's on my channel a lot, and she's got a pretty big following. Her name is Angie. She's also a nurse, and she has a channel called Food Goddess 50. And I had to go up to see her. I went up to see my mom. I had to visit a medical facility for some medical equipment. And I'm like, oh my God, man, this is terrible. Um, but the thing about it, and I think the best thing about this story is it's kind of slow and steady wins the race. And
Right.
we're talking about this injury, and we're talking about the results that he's gotten from using it, but it's been a very steady process that you've maintained over an extended period of time that's really helped you, kind of get,
Right.
the benefits that you're seeing, which I love.
Yeah, he would slow down. I'm like, Trent, have you wanded yet? Oh, I hadn't done it today. Well, and the next day, Trent, have you wanded yet? And he, oh, I forgot, Mom. And so I'm like, okay, let's get back to wanding every single day. And he's like, okay. And so then he would be all excited, and you can actually see the less anxiety, and the hair would start coming back, and I know the teeth are still good. I just want to maintain and keep them good and keep the blood flow to those teeth. Um, I'll have to give you pictures of his x-rays of what was there and what is now there. So it's impressive. So we'll
But
see.
and I honestly, I do it a lot for that exact same thing. I'll set it on my chest and just run it right into my mouth area, and I do it all the time for prevention. Like that's one of the
Right.
things that I always do because I've used it a lot on my face, my skin. If there's a sore throat, I'll use it in that area. But I always want to maintain, what I've got and keep my gums and
Right.
teeth and everything as healthy as possible. And you don't have to have your mouth open, but I do find that there are times where I do open it up and put that blue light on the teeth. And I find it interesting that I've had teeth whitening done in the past, and that's exactly what they're using is some type of blue fluorescent light
Mm-hmm.
on the teeth. And I know because of some of the technology behind me here that there's what we call chromotherapy, which gets into spectrums of light, frequencies of light. We obviously have a lot of red light technology. So, I don't know
Yeah.
as much about that probably as I should, but I do, use it very much in the same way, with the intent of keeping my teeth as clean and as white as possible and keep my gums and mouth as healthy as possible.
Yeah. Oliver's falling. There's Oliver. He said, I'm falling. He's a little roly-poly poodle. He's so
So
cute,
we
though.
we just sent you a second wand, right?
No, you're sending me a wave watch.
The Wave Watch. Okay, the Wave Watch. So
We
we
are
just sent you a
going.
Wave Watch.
That that is my Christmas present.
That's
So
awesome. You're
talk
gonna love that.
talk
Between
about a
the
house
Terahertz,
divided
yeah,
between my husband and me. He's completely 100% Western, and I am completely mixed.
I love
So,
that. And for anybody out there, this is what we're talking about.
yeah,
This is the Terahertz
yeah.
wand, and it
And he
is
does
this is the
medium. Yeah, he likes the medium. I don't with the sound, if you're sound sensitive, he doesn't do the one or the three, the low or the high, because it has like a whoosh to it, like a higher pitch to the
hmm
sound.
hmm
But the medium is very comfortable for him, and it seems to do him well. The medium, what is it? Setting. The
Yeah,
medium
the medium
setting.
setting.
Yeah,
And
it's a
go ahead.
it's a lower. It blows not as rapidly, I guess, not as forceful, but I think the
Mhm.
heat is there of the higher setting, what it
Correct.
feels like.
Yeah, so all the wands have a low, medium. Some of them, the bigger ones, like we have this one here also, that's more of a, obviously, we call this big blue, much bigger than some of the other ones. Used a lot by chiropractors and other people that, are going to see people that are in more of a time sensitive,
Right.
type of a situation. But they all have different settings with the fan speeds and the heat. And people will say, well, which one should I use? And I always tell people, use the one that's most convenient for you. Use the one that is more comfortable because it's more about the time of use and the consistency more so than about the more so than what setting and how long, like, hey, if you only got
Right.
5 minutes, then go 5 minutes. If you have more time, then do 15 minutes. And you touched on a good point also where, hitting all the meridians. So using it on the hands and on the bottom of the feet because you have all these meridians on the hand
Right.
area. And so using it there, I'll use it sometimes on the ears. There's a lot of meridians and a lot of acupuncture
Huh.
points there and the bottom of the feet. And it literally does send energy through the body. 1 hour with the terahertz wand is equal to 10 hours of acupuncture. And,
Okay.
the terahertz wand technology has been out now for a few years, although they've been making these and the technology has been in effect for probably 15 or more years. And
Wow.
like with anything, it gets a little bit better, it gets a little bit less expensive, it gets more powerful, the sizes get better. The 7.0, which is the one that you've got,
Mhm.
is the top seller because it's about, I don't know if you can see, it's about 25% bigger than the smaller one, and it's not all that much more expensive. So
No, no.
you
It
get a
was it
lot of
was like the break, it was like the most expensive of the inexpensive ones, if that makes
Mhm.
any sense. Like you had
Yeah.
to jump to like 800 or $1,000 or something like that.
Exactly, exactly. So there's other companies in that sell some other models, but when you're getting into a larger size wand, many times they get up to 1,000 or more, and
Oh yeah.
that's a bit of a stretch. And that little 6.0 is what I just used for my jaw. 3, 4 weeks ago when I had that swelling in the jaw and that sort of abscess or whatever it was, and like I said, within 4 or 5 days, completely gone, completely gone.
Right.
And I did take some oregano oil also. And I did actually, I wear the watch. I swear by the watch. The watch and the wand are really our two best sellers. And they're the best sellers because they provide the most value. They can do the most things for the least amount of money. And
Right.
so, did you get the watch yet? Has that gotten there?
No, no, it hasn't come here yet. Not yet.
Okay, yeah, it'll either be there tomorrow or Friday. So you'll have to check back in with me and let me know how you like that. You're gonna love it. I swear by it.
Well, I'm gonna
And
share it with Trent for a little bit.
oh, that's right. We're
Um,
gonna switch with,
yeah. And then if there's
yep,
a cataract one, I might put it around Oliver's neck and let him wear it around for a while. See how that
that's awesome.
helps him out. You never know for the Oliver. But
We got to
we were
get, go ahead. We got to
we were
get,
traumatized by a we had a two big poodles that had one had acute angle glaucoma and one had just a terrible eye problem. So I lived at the doggy ophthalmologist. Yes. I'm like, I just can't do that again.
yeah.
So,
Well, I would say for the dog, make sure you terahertz the dog's water in the
mhm.
dish. And then if you're going to use it for the dog and you're using it on the eyes, just 1 or 2 minutes a day,
Okay.
3, 4 days in a row, take a day off. And then because the dog's so small, anytime you're using it on soft tissue, especially eyes that are so small, the amount of time that you need is very minimal.
Cool.
Obviously, hips, lower back, knees, big, chunks of
Big bones.
bone
Yeah.
and cartilage and muscle. You can use it for longer extended periods of time, but for the eyes especially, and you can come in from the side. The dog doesn't
I was
need the
gonna put a
eyes
piece
opened.
of I was gonna put a towel over it by chance, like a cotton towel to see if that would
Yeah, and
be
yeah, and I do believe, and you can tell me, you'll figure it out as you go. The low setting will be the best.
mm,
But if the dog has the air pointing into the eye, more than likely she's going to probably or Trevor's going to what's the dog's name?
Oliver. This is Oliver.
Oliver is more than likely going to probably close his eyes.
Okay. We'll see how
But
that
it does
works.
it does penetrate through. So however, whatever's most comfortable for him, and like with anything, the dogs will get acclimated to it as they go. So
Right.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
Cindy for taking the time
Well,
to
thank
hang out
you.
with us today to share that experience. I love it. I always tell people that the terahertz wands are amazing devices, and the beauty about this call is I'm really spending zero time talking about terahertz frequency, red light frequency, quartz
Right.
crystal, all the technology. The technology is all amazing too, but when it's all said and done, people want to just know, hey, how does this work? And, they want to hear from real people, hear their stories. So I greatly appreciate you sharing that with us.
Thank you. Yeah, you just have to hang on, just hang on for the ride and say, okay, this will work. And, the skeptics out there can be skeptics and the other ones can reap the benefits. So we'll just let it be.
I love it. Well, thank you
So
so much for your time today. Thank you,
thank
Oliver,
you.
for also joining us. Pleasure to have you both on.
Thank you
Grab the
so much.
wand and start using it on your knees.
I will. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because, like we were talking before the call, being a nurse, you're used to taking care of everybody but yourself. So
that's true.
we got to try to get you squared away so that you're in good shape too. So thank you so much
Absolutely.
for your time today. And let me know. We'll circle back and check in with you once you get the watch to see how you like that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Right. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.